My face is shiny because I have castor oil on. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Untangled. We are on episode 94. Really happy to be here with you guys. Very, very, very happy to be here. While we wait for some people to join, please say hello in the chat box, where you're from, how you're feeling. Let me fix a couple things on my end. Okay. Hi, California. Okay. Okay. Hello. Hi, Miley. Hi, Jane. Hi, Mary. Hi, Karina. Hi, Christina. Hi, Cynthia. Hi, Amy. Hi, Louise. Hi, Colette. Really good to be here with all of you. Untangled. My favorite thing that I do every week. Well, my Patreons, but Untangle, I love. So before I get going with whatever is going to come through for our episode today, I just wanted to do one piece of housekeeping, which is just that every month I do a channeled message in my Patreon community, and I never know what spirit or energy is going to come through. It's the only time that I channel during the month is this 1 hour in our Patreon community, and for some reason I feel like this month's channeled message is going to be powerful. I think it's going to be somebody interesting, really interesting. They're always really interesting, but I just felt called to share with you guys. If you want to join the community so you can join us for this channeled message, please do so. The link is down below in the description box. See what wants to come through, what wants to remind us of what we're doing here and what is going on. That's all. That is my only housekeeping piece. I'm just going to get going. This week's Untangled, I don't really know what I'm going to talk about, what subjects are going to come through. What I'll start to share with is, first of all, it's always good to be here with you guys. Um, and second, if my body has been having a lot of issues this past month, I wouldn't call them issues. Maybe they are just, there's interesting things that are happening with my physical body. I got frozen shoulder. My teeth are starting to get super sensitive. I think I have a cavity. I got some other stuff just kind of arising out of nowhere. And it's just really fascinating. I deeply, deeply, deeply believe intuitively that the body is doing the best it can to process a lot of the external energies that we're taking in every day, and it's doing a lot to process the internal energies that have been stored in our body. And every time my body has some stuff that goes on, and I am very, very healthy. I don't have a primary care physician. I don't go to the doctors. I don't even use my insurance. Um, and so as my body has been giving me these signs that it's really working overtime, I've been listening to it and I've been reminding myself, my egoic structured part of me, that I'm safe. That I am safe, my body knows what it's doing. My body can take care of this. And it can be very scary when we don't feel good, when we are in pain, right? I was in a lot of physical pain the last couple of days, and it can be very scary. And so I constantly am reminding myself that my body is not trying to make things worse. My body is not doing anything bad. There is nothing wrong with my body. That my body is a beautiful divine design that is working overtime. And So if you are having experiences, physical sensations of any type, just be aware of the thoughts that you hold around that and see if you can start reminding yourself um, that you're safe. Your body is just working overtime. And perhaps the one thing that you're starting to feel um, your body focusing on. So let's say you have some sort of pain in your finger, or you've got a pain in your hip, or you're starting to get acne for the first time, whatever it is. Just imagine it as your body is working overtime to make sure that everything is processing all over the body, that there are parts of your physical body that it may not be able to get to. And so it can't heal it as quickly right now because it's healing everything else. And healing just means that every moment of every day your body is always in a state of healing. It's always processing, always. It's always moving things through. It's like a water, when you put water through a device to clean it. That's what's happening every moment of every day in your body, no matter what anybody tells you, no matter what supplements you're taking, or what food you're eating, or what emotions you're experiencing, or what trauma you're having. Or it doesn't matter. Your body's always processing. It's always healing, always. And so when there is an overload, like the body is processing more, um, sorry, yay. Sorry, I'll tell you guys what's happening. Um, when your body is having to process more than normal, certain things are left at the wayside, so to speak. So you may have something hurt all of a sudden. You may have some sort of sickness come in. You may have some sort of dis-ease in your body. And yes, you could say, oh, it's because I got sick next to someone. Or you could have whatever theory you want. But at the end of the day, what I've been feeling into more and more as my body has been giving me all these different signs is that its focus is all over the place now, right? And so, what it used to focus on to make sure would constantly stay in a state of healing, it now has to focus elsewhere as well. So it's diluted. So you may get different physical symptoms right now. I don't call them ascension symptoms. I don't like that term. I don't see it as ascension symptoms. I see it as your body processing more energy that's coming into the body. And it's doing its job, and it's doing an incredible freaking job. And the more that we can use that lens of like, man, my body is fucking badass. Even this morning, I woke up with some pain and I was like, you're safe, Lori. You're safe. You're safe. Your body is not screwing you. Your body is not um, out to get you. It just isn't capable right now of staying in that healing state with every specific area of your body. And some things may arise, and that's okay. And then listening to what my body wants and what it needs and what I need to do for it. But it's the mind. It's the mind. We start to fight against the body as if the body is a bad thing. Pay attention to that, right? There is just an increase, an influx of energy on the planet, and that's going to increase disruptions within the physical form. And you can also say, well, it's an imbalance of this, or it's because I'm eating more gluten, or it's because whatever you want to label it, that's fine too. But your body's ability to sort of keep you in a homeostasis state is going to be disruptive right now. And so just if you can trust, if you can relax into, if you can pay attention to the thoughts, and also don't make it about you, like there's something wrong with you, like you're bad. You should have done this, or you should do this, and don't listen to anyone that makes you feel that way. Pay attention to you and your amazing physical form and the relationship that you have with it. And that nobody knows you and your body the way you do. And you're coming back into a relationship with your body that, if you're like me, you haven't had most of your life. So many of us have been disconnected unconsciously or consciously from our physical forms, because we have felt as though our physical forms have disowned us, that our physical forms disappointed us, that our physical forms didn't keep us safe, right? And so there's this really deep, deep unconscious belief and massive programming all over the world that you're not safe to be in your body. And that when you get into the body consciously more and more, you start to feel more and more, and then you really don't believe that you're safe, right? And then you really start to say, well, my body's not protecting me. My body is shutting down. My body's this, my body's that. And what you don't remember, perhaps, is that your body is your best friend. There's there's the body and there's the soul. They are the best friends possible. They are better friends than any friend you will ever have. And we are coming back into that remembrance. We'll stop listening to everybody else's opinions about what your personal physical body wants you to hear and wants you to listen to. And that our physical body doesn't have to be perfect in terms of its health in order to be always working for you. Your body doesn't do anything else other than work for you every day, all day, every second of the day in order to keep you in a state of healing. That doesn't mean that you're going to feel healed, right? It may mean that a lot of us are going to have more sort of funky stuff happening because the body is now having to work over time, like on extra cylinders in order to process everything that is happening in the physical form because of the energy that is increasing and the courage that you have to be able to be inside, aware of everything, right? And and letting it all start to move, feeling it, and the thing that's so crazy about this time on the planet and really moving back down into, "Oh, there's a little spider." "Oh, that's not a spider." "Oh, shit. Hold on a second." Oh my god. Literally, this was on fire. I'm like, "What's going on?" Sweet baby Jesus. My Palo Santo caught on fire. It literally, like, burnt the whole stick. I'm like, "What are these little black things flying around?" I guess we needed this. Cleanse, cleanse. If you have any Palo Santo, get it out. We obviously need it. I'm listening. I'm listening, universe. I'm listening, life. There are no mistakes. I almost burnt my house down. My house burns down. There are no mistakes, but Lori, your house burned down. No mistakes. There are no mistakes. The universe just gave us a clearing. Whew. So, you guys, I did a water fast. Well, speaking of not beating ourselves up, I have been feeling so deeply that I need to, um, I've been talking about this for a little bit, but just the amount of information we're consuming is just violating my body in some way, right? Um, I just feel like my whole system needs a reset. So I got a deep, my body's like, please starve me. Not starve me, like starve me with food, but like starve everything so that I can reset. And I knew that my body needed it. So I was like, all right, I don't like being hungry. If I have an ounce of like feeling hungry, I eat. Like I don't know what it's like to not to let hunger like grow and expand. Like it's not in my repertoire. Um, I don't do it. So I was super nervous about doing this water fast, but I didn't do a lot of research. I watched a video by Dr. Berg. don't know if I told you guys this, and I watched one other video because I don't like to take in people's information and people's experiences. I just don't like it. But I really love Dr. Berg. My mom listens to Dr. Berg. If you don't listen to Dr. Berg on YouTube, he's a really great resource. Just straight from the hip, isn't trying to sell you all kinds of shit or convince you or tell you that he's right. He's not an influencer in any way. Anyway, so I started. Oh, I think I told you guys. Did I? Oh, I was in the water fast last Tuesday. I was in my water fast. I was in the fast. Anyway, I broke it after 50 hours. I couldn't. I was so hungry. I couldn't get past that hump. And it was my mind. And here's what's so interesting. I was observing everything and aware of everything. And I realized like 5 hours before I quit, that I was gonna quit. I was like, I don't know, I could feel my mind breaking down. It wasn't my body, obviously, that broke down. It was my mind. I kind of just knew like, fuck, I'm not going to make it. And I knew that if I could battle the mind that I would be able to make it. But I also knew that I had quit in my mind. I'd given up. So then it was a matter of like, okay, well, mentally I kind of knew that I gave up. So then it was just a matter of when I going to actually like physically let go and eat. But I have to tell you, aside from kind of beating myself up, honestly, because I really, really I wanted to do the full 3 days. I did feel a lot better the following day, and, I don't know, I'm feeling called to do it again, and to actually just now that I know what it's like, sweet baby Jesus, I went to on Tuesday, last Tuesday, 35 hours into the fast, I went to a Bikram yoga class because I was like, "Oh, I'll just stretch and kind of move the body around," you know? And I got in there and I've done my Bikram yoga for, I don't know, 14 years. And, I've never fallen asleep in a class other than in the Bikram yoga teacher training, which I did in Thailand, which basically just kills you. But other than the teacher training, I've never fallen asleep in a class. And I went into class and literally within 20 minutes, I was like laying down on the mat, completely passed out, like would come into consciousness and awareness. I could hear the teacher and then I'd go right back to sleep. Um, and then I would wake up again. And I was out. I just woke up and the class was over. And I'm like, fuck, dude, your body, Lori, she is killing it. Couldn't really think. I um I was hungry, but not I wasn't super hungry. But it was more of just like I was out of it. Like I couldn't I could barely have conversation. Like for me, it was the second day was cuckoo crazy. Um, but I also knew that my body wanted this. I could feel my body like, please keep going. You can do this. You can do this. You can do this. Um, and so we're gonna try it again next Friday. And we're gonna see what happens. Um, yeah, I have a very high metabolism, very high metabolism. So it's extremely difficult for me. But we're gonna try this puppy one more time. If anybody wants to join me, I'll be doing it the 18th, the 19th, and the 20th. So yes, um, that is happening. What else? What else can I share with you guys? I don't know, like just talking my human life. I have been Thank you, Steve Lotus, for that super chat. I love the little Congos. I did it 4 times. Yeah. I don't like to listen to others. I'm wondering about that as you do appear to make a living from the same type of activity. Tell me about it, Katie. Like, make that make sense, right? Like, you know how difficult it is to realize that one of the most kind of polluted things that we're doing right now is consuming information. And yet there is a drive or desire within me to teach and to share what's happening on the planet. And so for me, what I've been trying to focus on is sharing my experience and offering a gem within that, but not trying to dictate or lead down a certain path. Or I've just been very cautious and conscious and very aware of that. It is very, very difficult. I mean, one of the reasons, Katie, I was struggling in December and am starting to do retreats in Africa, in Kenya, is because of that. It's because it's becoming more and more difficult for me um, to participate in programs that create sort of a dependency on information. So in December, when I was like, "Ah, man, I can't do what I'm doing anymore in the same way," I I handed it over, and I handed it over to God, and I said, "Just show me, because I want to still be of service. I really want to. It's my life. My life is of service, but I don't want to be of service in a way that may be perpetuating the programming of dependency upon information outside of oneself as truth." So it's been something very much in my field all the time. And so what of course what happened for me, um, which I'm so grateful for, is that I was able to visit Kenya, and I was able to feel into this deep, deep, deep inner calling to bring people there for retreats. And what's so interesting is that in these retreats, it's not necessarily me teaching. It's the land, it's the people, it's the animals that are going to be gifting humans that come on these retreats. They're going to be gifting them with whatever it is that they need to see or experience. And so it's very fascinating. I love that you brought that question up, because um, you know, as I'm looking deeper into what has been unraveling for me, I love teaching. I love sharing knowledge. I love talking about, this information and what we are doing here and how we got here as this human identity, and how the quantum field works. And oh man, it's just the juice of my existence. And yet I also know that we are at a time where um, it's a very fine line between um, teaching right now and finding ourselves in the hooks or the looping programming of needing something outside of ourselves in order to get us through what we're in. So it's a balancing act. Anyway, so Kenya came out of the blue, and it's not me necessarily standing on some stage or having some sort of event where I'm teaching, although that is really great. It's me sort of letting something bigger than me teach, and it brings the focus back to each individual. And one of the greatest things that I got from my visits to Kenya thus far is the reintroducing of my soul in my body, um, you know, and intentional creation of opportunity for enhanced realizations. Yeah. I um I think what's happening is we are transitioning into the soul more and more, embodying the soul more and more. And um, nobody can get you there. You know, I didn't, I didn't work my way into this embodied soul feeling I have right now. It popped in out of nowhere from the experiences I had in Kenya. So yeah, it's a great question. I love it. Thank you for asking it, because it's what I battle with every day. Every day I battle with it. I had a long conversation with my mom, 4-hour conversation with my mom the other day about how do I keep continuing to show up and teach in a world that is really perpetuating this kind of looping dependency on information. So, yeah, that's why I feel like focusing on focusing on the desire that we want, the state of being we want to be in, is really, really important right now. Um, Electrolytes. I got my electrolytes. This is gonna sound so gross. Oh, whatevs. I drank my urine during the fast. I looped it all day long. I actually love doing that, but I don't do it very often anymore. But it has all 102 minerals in it, and I felt incredible in terms of my electrolytes. Um, I also have this powder, so I put some electrolytes in the I put some natural not natural, there's no such thing as that. I put some electrolytes in my water as well. Um, but I didn't feel when I was fasting that I had an imbalance of electrolytes. I just felt my body just felt like it was resetting, like it just needed to do nothing and chill and sit. Um, yeah, there's a fear around it, but can't remember the name of the electrolytes I used, but I didn't do it very often. I maybe put it in two glasses of water. The rest was um, my urine. Um, God help me when the next pandemic rolls out. I feel sick already anticipating it. Don't anticipate it. Don't anticipate something, because what we're doing, eat plants, love animals, love your name. What we do when we are anticipating something is that you are creating a state within your body that is not necessary. So think about what you said. It's actually really, really powerful and really beautiful. I think this is really, really important. I wish I had my own private space to be alone. God help me when the next pandemic rolls out. I feel sick already anticipating it. So we just say these things, right? We all say these things. We all live this way. Eat plants, love animals is no different than me or anyone else, but it's extremely important to dissect that for a second, okay? This is why gaining information and listening to all this stuff is really unhealthy, because it creates this feeling of I feel sick already anticipating it. So what that means is that there are these, you've been listening to something, or you have thoughts in your mind of what's coming. And a lot of us will argue, well, it's important so that I can prepare. And I would argue that till the day the flies come home, because what is right here, right now, truly is your highest state and the only thing that matters. And when you pay attention to solely what is just right here, right now, there's no pandemic. There's no election yet in the United States. There isn't. We are moving through and into an election, but right here, right now, nothing's happening. Right? If you turn on something, then something happens. If you listen to something, then something happens. If you read something, then something happens. But what's happening right here, right now? Really, our natural state that we are being pulled out of is this state of calm and ease, no matter what's happening. And so the more that we are consuming, okay, information about what to do, what's coming, what to expect, you are literally being pulled out of your highest state, your most natural state, your most vibrant state, and you're being pulled into something that isn't even happening and may not happen. And if you pay attention when what's happening in our media and social media and anywhere is that it's telling you what's coming. It's telling you what to prepare for, what to expect. And unbeknownst to that information, consciously or unconsciously, that is pulling us out of our most empowered state. And it's a deep, deep program. It's a deep program that a lot of us will say it makes sense because I'm preparing. And I would agree. I would say, yeah, I totally understand that. And I get it. It totally makes sense. And it's also not our natural state. It is literally what we are being pummeled into seeing so that we can start stepping into the now, the right here, right now, feeling safe in the not knowing. Think about this for a moment. If you don't know what's coming, how safe do you feel? You don't feel very safe because you feel like the more information you have, the safer you are. If you understand what's going on through the lens of ascension or through the lens of awakening or through the lens of whatever it is, then you feel more in control and you feel safer, but that's the illusion. Our safest place to be is in the right here, right now, in the not knowing and the not seeing. That is where you will find the most peace. But it's extremely challenging to get ourselves there. That is the deep, deep, deep program. What is it like if I don't know? What does it feel like if I can't hear my body telling me exactly what it is that it's doing? If your body could come out of the body and stand in front of you and say, um, this is what's happening and this is, you're going to be fine. And I'm just doing this and I'm just doing that. You would relax, and so, but we don't have that in the now, in the flow state, you don't have anything that you can grab that will make you feel safe. So you have to trust life. You have to trust what is right here, right now. And it's very difficult, right? Um, it's challenging. I feel you, my friend, that said you feel sick about the next pandemic, but I encourage you to just pay attention to that. And to just like authentically ask yourself, if I really let go of trying to find out what was coming, what was happening, how much anxiety would I have? The thing that's so interesting about the inverted matrix we live in is that what is actually creating the anxiety is the fear of being in our natural state. Because we think this is unconscious, but we think that being in our natural state, which is being present right here, right now, we think that that's going to create anxiety. We're afraid of that state. That state is the state of not knowing what's coming, not having the answers, having to trust in something bigger, having to trust in the unknown and the unseen. So we don't like being in that. We have anxiety about being in that. So what do we do unconsciously? We try to predict a future because we don't want to be right here. And in predicting a future, it creates anxiety. So we're trying to figure out what's coming. We're afraid of not having enough money. We're afraid of getting sick. We're afraid of the next pandemic. We're afraid of this or that or all these things, right? And the crazy thing is that we're simply running from what is actually going to free us from anxiety. But we have to practice it, you know? Do you have some tips for neurodivergent people who already struggle with overstimulation and overwhelm? Nature. Honestly, Silas, nature. How often how often are you able to get into nature? And by nature, I just mean how often can you just sit and like watch a butterfly or listen to a bird, or um, watch the clouds. Do you remember? I mean, I'm 49, but do you remember as a little kid laying on the ground, laying on your back, looking up and watching the clouds go by? Do you guys remember that as a little kid? Um, Anyone? Um, I remember that. I remember we used to do that all the time, right? And like you would look and the clouds would move and they'd create things and you'd say to your friend like, "Oh my god, that looks like a dragon. Do you see the dragon?" And um yeah, like we used to do that. When's the last time you saw kids laying on their backs and just looking up at the clouds? So, my biggest hack for most things right now is finding moments where I can connect to nature, right? Even if you are looking at chemtrails, you have to choose to see nature, you know? So, Silas, I don't know if you have an opportunity to kind of find a few moments, where you are just connecting to that because it will see nature is all around us, obviously, duh. But nature is the reflection of our natural state. And so, nature, thank you, Sharon, for that super chat. Nature is trying to remind us of how to be in chaos. You see, nature's chaotic. Nature's not always calm. There are storms and floods and fires and death, destruction. Like nature isn't safe necessarily, but it's always in this natural rhythm of life. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Katie. Um, yeah, Denmark is full of nature, luckily. All right, Silas. So my recommendation is just try to connect through senses, even if it's just for 5 minutes. I would turn off stimulation right now as much as possible. See how uncomfortable it can be, because the stimulation that you're experiencing isn't necessarily going to go away, but you're just going to become more familiar or comfortable with being in that stimulation. I don't believe that we are here to turn off or turn down stimulation. We are energetic and we're going to become more energetic. That's what's happening. And so it can feel more intense. It can feel overstimulated. It can feel like your nervous system is going wonky. It can feel like you are going to lose your mind. It's overwhelm many times as we start learning how to be in body more, feeling everything. And again, what we're practicing, learning, remembering is how to be in the overstimulation, recognizing there is nothing wrong with it. It's not bad, it's not wrong, it's not doing something no like it shouldn't be. It's the energetic world that we have been numb to, disconnected from. So we're coming back online, we're plugging back in, and it's like shock, overwhelm. But we're designed just like nature. Nature has this beautiful beat to it, rhythm to it, power to it, calmness to it, um, that it's just in life. And when you are in life, life gets to do whatever life is going to do. You've got this rhythm now, this power, this heartbeat, this movement. If we focus on, I'm overstimulated, And we start labeling it as all these things, right? And we start to get really lost in the sauce of that stuff, then we are focusing on what is wrong or what you need to fix. And what I encourage, my friend, for you and many others that are really feeling this, turn off what is bringing in stimulation as much as you can. Just it's okay to just kind of turn off what you can in terms of what you're consuming right now, right? And be in nature. And just see if those two things work. And pay attention to what you're listening to that may be telling you that you are, I forgot the word you used, but the neurological block, whatever that is. Humans complicate things. Thank you so much. Also have a lot of stress during sleep. Yes, I think that I hear you. And sleep can be one of the most weirdly and unfortunately one of the most stressful moments of our day because we are the quietest. And there's a lot of pressure around sleep. I'm supposed to be sleeping, I'm not sleeping, anxiousness around sleep. All the thoughts happen around sleep, the stress happens around, I mean, everything happens in that sleep moment, because there's nothing else going on. And so it makes perfect sense. And it's a beautiful awareness, also not fun. But humans overcomplicate everything. And what we're going to start to remember, I believe, is that life is designed to be simple. Now, we are complicated beings, and we have a mind that has the ability to have thought, which is freaking incredible. It's so powerful, so profound to have a mind in an energetic world that can control life, when energy is designed to be the natural creation of everything. But we get to live in a physical reality where the mind can actually override the energetic world. And so it's profound. And let us be humble to this. Let us kneel to this. Let us be in awe of that. Because when we can be in awe and humbled by the fact that there is this mind that is a computer system in a physical form that is designed to learn how to be in its natural state, which is in an energetic rhythmic flow. It has to learn how to let the mind just be and not control the natural rhythmic flow of life. Thank you, Silas. I appreciate that, my friend. And so the more that we complicate things, I want you to just bring this into your awareness every once in a while. The more we try to understand and dissect what's happening, and we have all these names to it, that is the mind, okay, the ego, trying to understand what it will never be able to fully understand, right? And so then think to yourself, okay, my mind is trying to control all of this because it needs to feel safe, wants to feel in control. But that's not the natural state. The natural state, just look at nature. That's the natural state. It's flow. It's just allowing. It's the movement. It's the breath. It's the simplicity. That's when you move most easily through life. Not easy. The simplicity of nature, of your natural state, doesn't have these like complicated labels. It just recognizes what's here, what it may be resisting or fighting against. Thank you, Don, for that super chat. I really appreciate it. So just pay attention. These are really beautiful comments and questions that are coming in right now because they're exactly where we are at in our consciousness, in our evolution. I absolutely love it because the only way to, well, it's not true, but it's a beautiful way for us to recognize what we do as the human, and how we so easily get caught in it and stuck in these really profoundly powerful traps. So remember that we are in our natural state energy. And it becomes extremely difficult to be energetic as physical forms in a world that is all energy. It's so loud. It's really loud. And what you'll notice, what I'm noticing, is it's too much. It's just becoming too much. And there isn't any amount of information at all that will bring me into my natural state of calm and ease. In fact, the more information I consume, you could argue the more I am pulling myself out of my natural state of just being with what is, slowing down, getting quiet, awareness. So, watching everything, watching what I think and what I feel and what I'm fighting against, what I like, what I don't like. And it's designed to be simpler, simple. I feel very uncomfortable being still and nothing going on. I feel like I need to consume all the time. I never know enough. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Gemma is. Beautiful awareness. I love it. Keep consuming. Keep going. Right? That is the desire right now. That's what you're craving. That's what's in front of you. That's what's right here. Right? So you do that. You be in that. You experience that. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing. It's wherever you're at is where you're at. Whatever's happening is what's happening for you. All of us are not in the same uh we don't all have the same experiences. We're not all going to resonate in the same space. It's okay. You know, what's your name? Gemma may be fully capable of receiving and holding way more information right now. She just may be flying like, this is so good. Give me more, give me more, give me more. And some of us are like Silas, are like, I cannot turn this shit off. I'm overstimulated. This is too much, right? And so we get to be with wherever we are, and all of it is perfect. There is no higher than or lower than. There is no you should be here or you should be here. There is no like, oh, well, if you are on the ascension path or if you're ascending or if you're in a high vibe, you should be only taking in 1 hour of information. Like, or, you're no longer going to want to have any information coming in when you are evolved. Like, no. Are we becoming more and more energetic? Yes. Are there some people that are going to have different experiences than others? Yes. Does anybody know? No. No, they don't. No one is an expert at this. Nobody knows. No matter how many aliens are telling them or channels are telling them the information, every channel that is, putting out information, it still has to go through an ego structure. It still gets filtered through a personality and a persona. Don't forget that. And so nothing is pure information. And every channel and everyone that's bringing in information should know that, right? That it is filtered through some sort of persona or personal personality. So it's just it's real. But we're all on different. We're all in different. I mean, look out at nature. There's 15,000 different ways to experience nature in one tiny little space, right? Um, Nothing's the same. I'm overstimulated myself with this live stream right now while food shopping. I would imagine that would be difficult. Multitasking, being told that you are overstimulation is happening, and then you're at a grocery store trying to pick out. Um, I want to connect with my higher self more, and I doubt what comes in, if anything does at all. Well, nothing comes in, right? Everything's always here for you, my friend. And so it's a matter of just choosing to start trusting. I always say this, but we're all receiving information within ourselves all the time, and maybe outside of ourselves as well, but it's just a matter of trusting it. It's just a choice. I remember when I first back in 2016, is when I first started doing my work, and it was really a lot of my work now I mean, I know now why, because I channeled my book. But I was when I first started my work, I had to learn how to channel. For some reason, that was the direction I was being guided to go, was channeling, which is bringing in information from energies outside of myself. And so I was teaching myself how to channel. And you can't it's it's the hardest thing you'll ever do is listen to information coming from outside of yourself or within yourself that isn't physical, because there's nobody sitting there saying, "Oh, yep, that's correct." There's no one sitting there saying, "Yep, that's the answer. There, that's what's happening." Oh, none of that happens. So for the rest of your life, you are never going to have a definitive answer as to whether you are receiving guidance from your soul or your higher self or whoever, whatever you want to say. It will never happen. So you have to start trusting what you are hearing. And nobody you don't have to be healed. You don't have to be in a high vibe. You don't have to be cleared out with all your shit. It's your natural birthright. You were born, my friend, connected. Now, you were born into a world that is so dense that there is this forgetfulness. But this idea that for any of us that we have to do something in order to be able to connect, in order to be able to bring in the higher self, in order to be able to hear your own guidance is absolute nonsense. Nonsense. You are soul. Do you understand this? You are God. And yeah, there can be a lot clogged in your system because there's a lot of emotions you may not want to feel. There's a lot of thoughts that arise. So when you come back into the body and you settle in to listen, you're going to feel a lot. You're going to hear a lot of other stuff. So yeah, it gets real interesting. It gets real loud, but you're always connected. Always. There has never been a moment in your life that you have been disconnected. Even if there are fragmented aspects of you that have disassociated from your body, your soul has always been inside your physical form, connected to God. So the radio has never been off. It's just been turned down. That's it. You don't have to clear out your chakras. You don't have to eat certain foods. That's just a belief. That's just a thought. That's not true. And so what you are remembering is that, yeah, it's loud when you get quiet. When I started learning how to channel, I had to really create an environment where it was the same environment every single day. And it was the same, uh, I repeated the same thing every day so that I could get into some sort of repetitive patterning so that I would be able to more easily let go of, like when you're driving and you take the same path every day. When you take that same path every day, you're not thinking about how to get to work or how to get to school or how to get to your yoga studio. It's on, um, it's automatic. It's automatic. And so for me, channeling was the same thing. I just did the same thing. I sat in the same place. I lit the same candle. I said the same things. And I listened. And when I finally got into that kind of automatic state, it was easier for me to listen. It was easier for me to trust what was coming through. And every single time, no matter what, to this day, I have to choose what I'm experiencing. I have to choose what I'm hearing, Choose it meaning I have to believe. You just have to believe it. And so you have to start to decipher anything that sounds like a loud teacher. We just did this in my Evolve class. Yes, last week was all about guidance and your navigational system, and listening to that guidance, right? And so, um, when you start listening more and more, you're going to hear different voices. Soul or higher self, whatever you want to call it, God doesn't have a polarized voice. It doesn't say this is right and this is wrong, this is good and this is bad, you should or you shouldn't. So you want to start paying attention to that. If the voices you're hearing more of are very stern, like a teacher, like a drill sergeant, that's the ego. That's the part of you that's just keeping you safe. If it's more of just a very subtle, quiet statement, that's higher self. That's intuition. That's the soul. It doesn't have a story to it. It doesn't give a shit over what's right, wrong, good, bad. It's very neutral. Um, it's very simple. It's very, very simple. And so for you, whoever asked that question, I can't remember, you just have to start navigating um, the different voices and what they feel like and what they sound like. And but my God, you are not, there is no disconnection. Eventually, that whole program and belief and teaching will fall away because, you know, you're just coming back into the body, which can feel crazy and loud. And, but yeah, if you want to move into another country, follow that. Yeah, you don't I believe we channel when we are ready, it comes by itself. When it happens to me, I don't even ask for it. It's not the little me that leads the dance. Most of the time, guidance just comes. And if you let go of needing to feel or hear the guidance, it just arises when it arises. It's much more difficult to do it the way I did and train yourself. Um, but it was a calling I had. I knew I needed to. It was like I was in school. I even moved to Mount Shasta solely to train on how to channel. But that's not most people's paths, and it's not necessary. Guidance really does come when we least expect it. Yeah. Do I have experience with ashwagandha? Yeah, I used to take it a lot. It's really, I loved it. There were a couple different herbs that I used to take. Ashwagandha, two other ones. I would take them in the morning, and man, oh man, it increased my energy. It increased my like alertness and clarity. It calmed me. It was real. I still have it, but it's expired, so I didn't finish it. Um, let's see. Hi, Lori. I saw you in London. Hi, Herbie. It's good to see you here. Anything else before we go? Can you take it in vitamin form? Yeah, that's how I took it. I took it in a like a vitamin, looked like a pill. Um, I took it as a pill. I took it every morning. Gotta cola. Is this one of the herbs? No, I didn't. I've never taken that. I don't take it anymore. But I felt it pretty quickly when I did take it. Do you believe chakras need to be cleared to clear disease from the body? Okay, so personally, I can only speak personally, Shannon. So from my own personal experience, I've never had to clear out my chakras in order to clear disease or sickness or pain or emotion, or I've never had that experience. I've always just been in the moment of what's arising and felt it. And some of it was really intense. It brought me to my knees for days and days and days. And I just kept dropping deeper into that void. But never, ever, ever, ever did I have an intuitive hit to go in and open up or clear out my chakras. Now, I've done a ton of guided meditations where when I go into the body, I open up my chakras and I can feel which ones are slower than others. Um, but what my belief is, in terms of my own personal experience, not anything I've read, is that when whatever is arising is what is assisting you in clearing out the trauma. So, yes, our chakras get blocked because there are these wheels, okay, that are spinning, and they're in the middle of the body, so to speak, right down the middle where this channel is. And so the channel is where all energy comes in, and it's where all energy goes out. It's the tube, so to speak, right? It's an energetic tube. And the chakras are designed to keep the energy moving. That's what they do. They help move the energy through. It's very simple. And so if you imagine every day, every experience you have is energy moving through that channel. The chakras are always trying to get that stuff to move. Now, if there is stored up or blocked energies in certain areas there, right, it's going to slow that center down. It's going to kind of create molasses difficulty. And then it can kind of slow the whole process of the energy moving through, which is why people right now are having a lot of Kundalini awakenings, which is the activation. It's almost like you've had a colonic. Kundalini awakening is like a colonic, all the chakras open. And then it's like, whoosh. So you will always be shown, even if it's an illness or a disease, you're going to be shown what it is that you need to look at, what thought you need to look at, what emotion you need to look at. And again, I really, 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 really believe that we need to stop trying to fix, like, oh, I need to open my chakras in order to get rid of this disease, or oh, I need to, this is not gonna be a popular belief statement, but, "Oh, I need to start speaking more so my fifth chakra can open." Life is gonna show you what needs to be seen and felt and heard every moment. Life is always your body, and life is always your soul is always gonna show you what you need to see and what you need to feel and what you need to hear. You don't need to go find it. And if we can just show up and experience what is. For instance, let's say your fifth chakra is blocked, okay? Happens to a lot of us. Welcome to the human experience. You're no special or no different. It just is. How are you going to know? You're going to have experiences with people where you aren't speaking. So, what do you need to do? Be aware of that moment and just start speaking. If you try to, in my opinion, if you try to go in and clear out all these chakras and do these things where it opens, you're still going to be confronted with people where you're going to have to speak. So what's the better solution? You trying to go in and figure it all out and open up your chakras and feeling all great, and then having to step back out into life and actually do what needs to be done in order to actually activate it and open it back up? Or doing the things that you think you need to do, which is not actually being present with what is in life. everything is being cleared for you, by you, through light that's coming through. The most difficult part for us is to let go of trying to control it all and to just show up in life. Like, that literally is everything's clearing out. We don't have to do anything. It's naturally happening. At least for me, that's my experience. I can go in and activate the shit out of my chakras, and I can recognize, wow, this chakra's blocked and this one's open and this one's I can do all that. And yes, it has everything to do with dis-ease in the body because it is stored emotion, stored energy. But there is a deeper lesson here, which is you're not in control. And what happens when you realize that life is actually in control. The river's actually the one in control, and you're in it. And what happens when you stop trying to find the solution for something and you just show how hard is it to just trust that life is doing it? This is not easy for us. But just play in that for like 2 minutes of your day. Forgot who asked that about the chakras, but um, just play in it, see what happens. The disease that I feel, what if I trusted, okay, and I listened to the body more and I did the medicines or I did whatever it is that I'm feeling called to do, but I knew that it was my body, it's divine intelligence, um, moving shit through, literally. Not easy, my friends, but it's easy. Yeah, you don't wanna try to just think of the part of you that's trying to control everything, um, and just recognize that that is a different part of you than the divine essence, the divine intelligence. All right, you guys, I gotta get going. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all your amazing questions and flowing through this life with me. Pass this video on if you think somebody would like it. Hit the thumbs up button just so we can get a couple of likes and perhaps at some point pop out of the YouTube algorithm. Oh, this is what I want to ask you guys. Super random question. So I don't have my videos. Tell me, I'm so glad I remembered this. Okay. So I don't monetize my YouTube videos. None of them. When you guys watch people's YouTube videos, are they monetized? Like, do ads come up? I'm so curious. Um, Before you go, do ads come up for most videos that you watch? Or can you but if you're a YouTube this is so silly. If you're a YouTube Prime member, do ads come up? Um, Everybody has ads. Oh, no ads for me as a premium. Okay, so if you're a premium subscriber, right, you don't see the ads? If you pay Prime, you don't see ads. Okay. Okay, so if you don't pay for the Prime, you'll see ads. Got it. I just don't like I just don't do it. I don't like it. Ugh. I don't like doing things that are I've always been this way. I don't like doing things that are like that everyone wants you to do. um, yeah. Anyway, okay, good to know. I just wanted clarity because I have no freaking idea. Um, and I just refuse to do it. Everyone's like, Lori, just monetize your YouTube channel. I'm like, no. And I feel like that's part of why my algorithm has stopped. I intuitively, I'm getting this hit that one of the reasons my channel has just completely frozen for the last 2 years, 2.5 years, is because I don't hit the monetization button. So YouTube doesn't make any money off me at all. I'm like, fuck, maybe that's why. I don't care. I don't care. Um, I feel like that might be it. All right, you guys, that's it. I love you guys. That was a super random rant at the end. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Next Tuesday. And if you want to join me for the channeled message on Friday and you're not in our Patreon, use the link below in the description. Join us. There's a free 7-day trial. But if you are a free member, you won't be able to watch the channeled message. You have to join the community. Okay. Lots of love, you guys. Mwah.